I will be speaking about my experience as a dancer during the war. I am from Kharkiv, so we've been very close to this. So I think it is very important to share our experiences because through the art we try to transmit the history of people, and the better we do it, the more chance there is other people will not have to experience the same thing throughout the world. So hopefully our experience will be of a good service to mankind. I think the worst time of war was about the first couple of weeks when this whole thing started, and we didn't know what happened. So we didn't understand what was going on. We just heard the explosions and we saw the ruins, and we realized this is actually happening. And the first emotion we experienced, I'm speaking for myself first of all, but I also asked other people, and more or less I got similar responses. That the first the first emotion was fear, and this is a very unfruitful emotion. At this point, when you're feeling fear, your body is stiff. You can cramp and hide, or you can run. So basically, that's about all that you can do. And we're very short of emotional and physical resources, so we spent most of our time trying to find ourselves a safe place to organize our living, to find food, and very basic things. And our emotions were we were busy to fight on the information front, because the awful side of this war was total lies that came through all the information channels, and our family and friends in Russia, we were unaware what was going on, so we spent a lot of time trying to persuade them that this is actually happening, that missiles are actually falling and Ukraine is being destroyed. So it was very difficult to try to persuade people in very obvious things. So this was a very hard period. Then at a certain point we realized that the situation becomes not better but stable. So we know what's going on, we know where the bombing occurs, we know we have a hiding place. And at this point a crisis came. It was an intellectual and emotional crisis. It was like a point of choice what to do, because you're still not free, because you're in certain space. You can travel, you can do what you normally do. So it felt like you only have a few options. Maybe you should fight, like literally take the arms and go kill people. And maybe you should wear yourself out by just working really hard, like cleaning stuff or doing anything, or just being very busy. Or if you're not doing either of the two, you are left with very ruinous emotions, because you don't feel like you're needed, you don't feel like you're doing anything. So this is really ruinous to a person's conscience. So my choice was to seek further. I realized none of these options were fitting for me. Together with my husband, we moved to the western part of our country, in Ukraine. So eventually, not immediately, but eventually the state of mind became more complex. You don't have to run, you don't have to hide anymore. So your emotions start to be more complicated, and you start feeling your desires. And it may seem a bit strange for me to speak about desires during the time of war, but actually this is what makes the person operate. Yes, this is what makes the person live. When you want something and you follow these desires, meaning you want to dance, or you want to create something, or you want to be part of a team, or any kind of desires. So they started to emerge when we realized we're in a safe location. And Then I reached Lviv, where our dance center is situated, led by Natalia Mogilevets. And at this time, the dance center was operating as a refugee center, but some rooms were also available for artistic activities like classes. And at that point, many of my colleagues, and me, including me, were giving the free classes to everybody who wants to take part in them. So people were not required to pay, but if they wanted to, we collected these funds and we spent them on the shelter, or maybe on some help for volunteers and for people who support Ukrainian army. And this was the time I realized that my main wish was to cherish the art and to share the art, because this is actually was a realization of a thing that actually makes me going, right? Keeps me going, completes my life, and gives sense to it. So when there is peace, many things are taken for granted. We know we're dancers, right? We know we do things because we've done them always. But in the time of crisis, we realize what really matters to us the most. And in my case, I realized that art was an essential and a vital thing for any human being. And it is very important to cultivate it, to cherish it, and to transmit to other people. Over some time, we realized there was a situation in Kharkiv, my home city, changed. So there were still missiles shooting, and there still is. So people are not 100% safe there, like nowhere in Ukraine. But at least we realized that troops were pushed away, the enemy troops were pushed away, and we were not expecting them to come into the city and to take it over. So that meant that life could continue in a certain way, right? And we came back to live there. And I announced and conducted a class, a flamenco class, and there are photos and videos that this is true and this happened. And it is hard to underestimate the importance of the ability of people to do something outside of their basic needs. You know, people came. We were very much inspired by each other, but myself, I felt strong because I realized that art is important, and this became an inspiration to others. And some people came and tried flamenco dancing for the first time, and these people became my inspiration because I realized that art means a lot to people, even in the time of war, even in the time of crisis. And truly, by living in Kharkiv, we realized that we underestimate the danger because we can't just live and think about it all the time. So at a certain point, I was going to a rehearsal. It was August 16. I was going to a rehearsal, and I got held up by the air raid alarm. And only after an hour, I reached my dance hall, the room, and I realized the shooting was the missile landed in the same yard, which is very close to the building. But luckily the constructions hold off the explosion, and just one window broke in the building where our dance hall was, so a dance studio was. So we were lucky at that time, and at other times also we were very, very lucky to continue our lives and continue our dancing. So as I already mentioned, the ability to dance was very important to every single participant. So, as I already mentioned also, people are experiencing fear, people are experiencing anger, but there's so much to the person, to anybody's personality than that. You know, people always are full of love, they want to be friends, they want to take care of themselves, they have admiration and warmth, and they want to care about the loving ones. But all of these positive emotions, they're like covered, they're kept hidden by the anger, by the rage, right? So the dancing became the instrument to uncover these positive emotions. So when we were on the class, we didn't fear, we were not afraid, we didn't think about the missiles, we didn't think about the war, we were just thinking about the art, the music, and our concentration was profound. Interesting thing, we realized that we now understand flamenco art better. You know, that flamenco art is special because it is possible to describe a feeling of grief, a feeling of sorrow through flamenco, through the dance and through the singing, and sometimes people do not understand it. Why do it? But to my opinion, this flamenco grief is transformational for a human's mind. So through understanding of the suffering of the other person, you become a better person yourself, because you realize that, you know, life should be different. You know, you should not make other people suffer. Speaking very, very primitively, right? Of course, we felt that our life means something after the dancings. We're not merely existing; we are living in the best sense of this. I will slide you through the testimonials of my students, and I will be happy to share this presentation with you if you're willing to read them carefully and you know, to spend maybe a bit more time with this. I'm taking some time for you to take a glimpse on the slides. So what was very important is meeting other people who are also into the art, just like you, and it was a feeling of companionship that made very many people told me they felt now they can live and they have a sense of living, and just the word living became bigger for these people. So a good dance is a dance that tells a good story, right? So hopefully we are making us Ukrainians and people who are with us are making good stories of our experience, and this will cultivate humanity as a quality in other people and help prevent other wars and make it rudimental for the whole world, so people don't have to suffer like this anymore. And I'm encouraging everyone who is able to help us please. And you can do many things: organize concerts or collect the money. And if you are in search of some trustworthy people to make sure that these funds reach our Ukrainian people and warriors, please contact us, our organization, and we'll help you. And please do help Ukrainians in your home countries. Please offer them classes. Please let them know you're open to participate and join projects, and just reach out to them, and we'll be helpful to reach back. So, and if you are a dancer, join the volunteer forces and let us know. We'll help you to find the right team and get you going. So I'm also including the links to our sites that was already mentioned by Natalia and Elena, and our email. So as again saying, this presentation may be available by request. So I thank you very much for your attention, and I will be happy to answer your questions outside maybe of this conference. Reach out to me. We'll be very happy to talk and communicate.